Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another edition of Chit Chat Corner with Psychic Cat and Grizzly. How's everybody doing today? We're on a little bit on the flip side, ladies and gentlemen, so yes. Let's change that up a little bit and get something a little bit funkier. See if we can get it going here.
Yeah, we need a bit of fun.
Rail and roll there. That's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, welcome. Don't that sound like her a little bit more? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Let's see what's out here tonight. It's going. Crazy way.
Right, we're primed.
Yeah, I gotta got some good music for you, you know. So yeah, hello Aussie Sue. Welcome everybody. So yeah,
Hey,
we just got done doing the show, code cases, missing person cases, and everything. So I sent you the target. That's going to be an interesting one. Oh Lord, is it interesting?
Oh, okay. I look forward to that in a way, you know.
Yeah, in a way, right? So how have you been doing, Kat?
Well, as in your language, what a week! Like,
what?
Wow, you know, my brain is exploding from all the new information that's coming in and the questions that I've got as a result of the different shows that you've had all week. Like, I love Jimi Hendrix, yep. And how everything seems to be related to each other, like the different shows we've got upstairs, we've got downstairs, we've got here, the synchronicity that's going on, the change of perception and everything. Lately, people have been questioning, all the symbolism of the ancients, and with the Egyptian and the Aztecs and all of that, how people are talking about that little handbag and what it represents. This brought up perception and how we see things for me, because most people are thinking that the pine cone is wisdom and education. You know, the little pine cone that it's symbolized everywhere in all sorts of different structures and things. There's also the handbag that is in all the different, the Sumerians and all the old countries, Aztecs, Incas, the whole lot. They believe the handbag represents tools. So I'd be very interested to know what everyone else thinks about that one. My other question with the big footies, I'm wondering if there is a correlation to the ley lines and to portholes. I would like everyone to know that we don't mean to upset anyone when we speak about trauma, etc. We had a lady on one of your shows that had been upstairs multiple times, and I asked a question not to upset her, but to find out how she coped with all the trauma and triggers and things like that. So we don't mean to hurt anybody with anything we bring up. Then I had another question with upstairs. There was a show you had, and they were talking about the terrible smells that the one guy saw one ship, and it was like a flying abattoir. And I'm wondering if that's, yes. Hi, Jeff. I was wondering if that was connected
Yep.
to the smells that some of the remote viewers have been getting recently that they haven't had before. My head's exploding with all these questions, so bear with me. Then I had another question with the big footies. They poo. They leave foot tracks. So I'm wondering if when they poo, are they upsetting or not upsetting, but are they changing ecosystems? You know, like you leave the poo, you get the beetles, you get the ants. You know, if their poo's different, is that changing the ecosystem? That was another question. As you know, my head is quite full today. The other thing I've been doing was playing. There's a site called the Resonance Academy, and it's all about vibration, frequencies, particles, and how we all have a different view these days. Like now that things are changing, we're not like things have energy, like, how we touch furniture and we can get imprints and we can see what's going on. But also with this new vision of ours, we have a different way of seeing things, so that when you're looking at an inanimate object, your whole head is kind of changing around now, because if you're looking in the new way, we're seeing energy in not just people and animals and things, but the energy is becoming clearer with inanimate things, I think. Hi, guys. I'm glad you're here. You might be able to answer some of my questions. And then Dennis was talking about the underground, and that brought up carrying spirits from generation to generation, like with the ghosts and things like that. So that brought up a whole another level of questioning. And all the healers that have been disappearing in the forests. On one of your shows, Ross, I think was his name, was speaking about telepathic. And I'm wondering if there's a connection there as to if they have been brought upstairs also. Hi, Barb.
Hello, Barb. Welcome, everybody. Had to go out, come back in, and reset. I was like lagging for some reason. Now, after I've played all your good music, so yeah. Hello, Julianne. Welcome to the show. There, yeah, welcome. But I don't know. So that's a lot of good questions there. Where do you want to start? Which one? How do you want to go?
Well, can we bring up that photo and then everyone can kind of think about that by themselves if they like? Because I've got a theory on what I think it is, but it's pretty out there, as usual.
What about that one?
Yeah.
Is that the one by email?
Yeah, I've got it headed as today's show, 8th to the 7th.
All right,
in the subject matter.
So you send it by email, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to get them up here. And I had a little look at the Bel Air house. That was interesting. One day we'll get Jeff to tell us all about what happens there. And I was wondering, with the statistics, with the big feedies, do they have any stats on the correlation between the ley lines and the sightings? I'd like to
which
ask.
email did you send it to? Did you send it to Grizzly, the paranormal, or did you send it to which?
The para one.
The paranormal one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should have come through.
I get thousands of emails, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was sent about an hour ago. How is everybody? How's everyone's week been? Has it been pretty interesting as far as energy and that goes? I must have overloaded everyone.
Let's see here. Let me check my emails because I'm not seeing it.
Well, it doesn't matter. If it pops up, it pops up. But there are photos of all the different, cultures that have used the same symbols in all their stonework and structures, and most of those structures are related via ley lines.
Yeah, I've got pictures of the somebody holding the eagle holding the bag.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll just do that. We'll cheat. We'll do it this way. Say the photos.
Sorry, everyone. I'm pretty useless at this.
Then we'll go to here, and I'll upload it to here. And I'll bring it over to here. And I will bring it up here. Stand by.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll get better at this, everyone. And I promise I won't interrupt again. I felt terrible interrupting Michelle all the time last week.
How's she doing, by the way?
It's just we get so many questions that come, it's good.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Share screen and all right, here we go. Somebody says they're carrying water.
Yeah. Yeah. See that the little handbag? No, I agree. The energy level is one.
Right.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Cath.
Oh, thanks, Sandro. I talk too much. I'm sorry. The people all over the world are speaking about this and what it means. They say that thank you. They say that the symbolism for the pine cone means wisdom and education, pretty much throughout all the different civilizations. With this little bag, they're saying that it represents tools. But in my head, forgive me because I'm going to front load you all, in my head, if the pine cone, which the guy on the left's got one, oh yeah, they both got them. The pine cone's up above in the hand of the first one, and then he's got the handbag downstairs. To me, if the pine cone means education and wisdom, I find the bag meaning tools doesn't match. To me, should I ask the others first before I front load?
Why not? I don't know what it represents. I have no idea.
I brought this
crazy with crazy. What does it mean? I have no idea what it means.
Me either, but I've got an idea. And the reason I brought this up is because of perception and how we all see things differently. And now Australia's about to go down the gurgler with misinformation and disinformation. They're going to change acts again. Yeah. Power pack, yep. That relates to the tools. Because most people are saying they think it represents tools, that they're taking tools. And the other reason I brought this up is, I'll try not to get into trouble, is because recently there was a show put on TV over here, and you know everybody, I'm a boomerang gal, and I've been trying for a long time, to promote the sport with respect. Anyway, on this show, it was called Australians' First Weapons. The returning boomerang was their first show. No, the returning boomerang is not a weapon. And that's what brought up this perception and how people see differently. Yes, yeah, it's really interesting. And also with the connections with the ley lines, because all of these sites are connected, because they're power sites. Gold. Possibly. Mine's out there. But that's why I brought this up, because of perception and how, like mass perception can be changed and manipulated and yeah, you can say that again. Yeah. It's all related with the energy sites. But I really that really interests me. Like they came to the result, the pine cone was wisdom and education. Yeah, exactly. So to me, a tool bag just doesn't fit. I'm a bit, I've gone in a different way.
So what do you think it represents? They're saying gold, power, crystal, power objects, technology.
You know what I
Cath
think it means?
on the huge mega knucklelocks. Puma Punka is a very interesting sight. Seen in
Yeah.
South America, Middle East. I mean, we're seeing the bags all across this ancient civilization.
Yeah.
The statues and
the pine cone. It's everywhere. Like I didn't realize how prolific it was everywhere until you kind of look around at different buildings and jewelry, all sorts of things like that. So mine's pretty out there. I think it means intent.
what would you say?
If the pine cone means wisdom and education, it's a head type message. So to me, they always have the bag kind of at the front. It's like, to me, I think it's intention. Anyway, that's my perception of that perception. So I find it very interesting.
All right, so I just looked up, ladies and gentlemen. What does a pine cone represent? Hello, Rebecca. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Give you
Becca.
a standing ovation here.
The pineal
So
gland.
here, I typed in, what does a pine cone symbolize? It says a pine cone symbolizes various things, depends on your culture, historical and personal interpretations. Here are a few common representations. Fertility, regeneration, the pine cone's ability to produce seeds and new life can symbolize fertility and the cycle of regeneration. 2, spiritual awakening. The spiral shape and layers of the pine cone are sometimes associated with spiritual growth, enlightenment, and inner awakening. Resilience, longevity. Pine trees from which pine cones originate are often known for their resilience and longevity. Consequently, pine cones can symbolize strength and endurance. Nature, number 4, and the environment. Pine cones are closely associated with trees and forests, so they can represent nature, the environment, and the beauty of the natural world. 5, symbol of winter and the holiday season. Pine cones are frequently used as decorations. I think that's man-made there.
Yeah.
So, but it says it's very important to note that symbolic meanings can vary across different cultures in personal beliefs. So interpretations may differ.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And that's why I brought this up, because we all see things and we see them differently, or they represent different things to us. So it can be.
Philosophy ley lines from 96 amateur archaeologists known as Alfred Watkins that filtered down to the occult community over the time. Different philosophies that the original philosophy was very simple. You notice that churches are in this nearly straight line, and where I came up with the idea would have been near large water sources like rivers or streams, and where the original philosophy came from, how to find ancient archaeology. So it goes on. So yes. Hello, Rebecca Varv says. So yeah. Agriculture.
Yep. And like, it's really hard to grow a tree from a pine cone, like, and like when over here, when the pine cone's open, I know it's going to rain within 24 hours because all the big black cockies come in and eat the seeds when they open. So, it's so interesting. No, I don't. Standing.
But how do you know it's gonna rain?
Because when the pine cones are usually shut up tight like that, and then they open up, and then you can see all the seeds. Like, it's nature. Nature's thinking, oh, okay, it's rain's coming, we'll drop the seeds. And all the cockies know that the seeds are there, so they all fly in. Big black cockies.
What are they, like crows?
No, big ones like this. So they're like, no, like they're cockies. Well, I call them cockies. They've probably got a proper name. Yellow-tailed something or other. But big. They're big like this. A foot high, and they've got a yellow tail. There's different varieties, but the big black ones come here a lot. And they're massive. They're big. And but they go straight for the pine cones every time.
Huh.
I take it. Yeah, it's interesting. I take a lot of notice of what's going on with the plants and things. And
now, what about this one?
beg your pardon?
The same thing
see?
with the.
Yeah. See how he's got it in front of him? Or her, or whatever? Like, if you got something in front of you like that, I don't know. I don't know. Because, they're all spiritual. I would be thinking, I don't know. I just think it's intention. For some reason. It's pretty out there, I know.
Does anybody else know what people think, or any scholars think they know what it is that it's holding? So, I don't know.
Me either. But I just brought that up because of, yeah. But the big black ones, yellow-tailed something, I can't think, because we've got a heap of them around here. We get the big black ones with a yellow tail. We get the big white ones with a yellow crest. We get the pink ones. So, is Barb still here?
Yeah, Barb's still here.
Can you ask Barb, are there any statistics on sightings and any relation to ley line positioning? And the business about the ecosystems. Has anyone tested their poo and stuff? Sorry, I've
When
just skipped.
when you say poo, are you talking feces?
Yeah.
So it's really been up in the air about if they actually have the feces of or scat of Bigfoot. Some of it call it bear.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's the DNA testing. Some say they have, some say they haven't. It's inconclusive. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Now, Ron Moorhead said that if you take the cave systems and the sightings and lay down a map and lay down the ley lines and lay down the sightings of Sasquatch and keep layering the maps, you will see a correlation, yes,
Okay.
to those. So yeah, there is a trend,
Okay.
but but some people will also say, well, no matter how far you look, you can look into many things and find a trend yourself of what you're looking to try to find.
Yeah.
So, but there are correlations, allegedly, yes, with ley lines and other things and cryptids and paranormal activity, yes.
Okay. Barb will be happy to know. Okay, thanks for that. Because, Barb, you guys have got me into this now. So I've been checking out the Aussie side of things. And like we call them Yetis or Yowies. There's a few other names for them. But I found a map. And just so happens there was a sighting about 20 miles from here. So I'm going to go check it out.
Oh, Yowie?
Yeah. The same as yours, pretty similar, but the different name. And interestingly, I was speaking to an Indigenous person and asking questions about it the other day. Won't be doing that again.
Yeah, they act weird, don't they?
Didn't like it at all. I can't discuss it again. But it was interesting because a friend of mine lives near another sighting, which is up at Woodburn. It's kind of, I don't know, about an hour inland off the coast. Oh, excellent standing. And she was out. Yeah, I know. I can't wait. They're out near these massive waterfalls, so it's going to be pretty anyway, either way. Yeah, so I was telling her, what to look for because she's only not far from where this other sighting was at Woodburn. Yeah.
The religious occult philosophy is vastly different from the ufologist theory from the standpoint of spiritual significance been on the culture, and from the ufologist standpoint, it's believed to be a piece of technology similar to something of technology we use with astronauts. I post pictures in the comment section, show you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And also, Lauren wants me to show her picture that she did. Let me share it real quick.
Wait to see this.
She did a picture of, I won't say, but she just painted this the other day. And voila, there it is.
Oh, I love it. A bit like you, Grizzy.
Thank you. I think it's very cool.
Same here. It's beautiful. I love the eyes. He's so cute. He's like Grizzly. Yeah, I'd like to Google that book too, Standing. What's it called?
Yeah, what is that? The book is called GIA Matrix.
Okay, thanks. I really want to learn more about this. It's beautiful. Look.
The painting is a grizzly foot. Really? A grizzly foot. I love it.
It's so beautiful. I love the eyes and the hair. It's beautiful. You're very talented.
It didn't take her long to do it either.
You're kidding. It's beautiful.
No. Oh, Cat. You ain't going to believe what I did. Okay. Hold on. Let me grab another device here. Now, don't freak out.
I couldn't freak out any more than I freaked out this week, I can assure you.
So do not freak out when I show you what I did. All right. Let me get it up on my other device here.
I've got everything out today.
I can believe this. This device was at 100%. Now it's at 2%. We're going to fix that real quick.
I called you the other night, Grizzy. I was frightened. My machine went off. in the middle of the night, went berserkos. So I turned it
Tell
off.
me you're talking about going berserko. Oh, yeah.
I think we kind of have a connection.
Yeah. So ask Barb about some crazy stuff. And I mean, she almost had me. I had to take sleeping pills the other night just to make
Yeah.
sure I would go to sleep. Yeah. After all that stuff that went down.
I haven't really slept since. I went out bush about because I did a review on what we discussed and added another page I sent to you, and for you and Barb and Dennis, and then I went bush to Thunderbolts Rock. It's we've got bush rangers that live around here or used to live around here, and there's this massive big rock where he used to hide behind this big granite rock and then rob the stagecoaches. And everybody thinks it's another good fun thing for me to play around with later on, that the treasure was never found. He stashed all the gold and all the the different guns and things that he stole, and no one's ever found them. And that's where I went the other day to try and ground. I tell you what, I still couldn't ground for hours after that.
Really? All right. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. And I'm gonna make this big here. Let me make sure I get the right one. Oh, it's not doing it. All right, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. Now hold up. I got to make sure and hit the right one. Let's see here.
Have they been good for the last couple of days?
I got some new ones.
Yes. Oh. And
here, I got
have the Japanese girls fitted in okay?
I haven't got them yet.
All right, sorry. Oh my God. Whoa, there's Miss Naughty there. Gramps. Oh. Oh, that's an interesting one. Clover. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. 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 Oh. Bonjour, every girls and boys. Love you.
Bonjour, my rear. This one
Chubby
came
Chit.
today too.
Oh wow. Which will I bring it up or not? Which was the one that's the jumper?
There's a couple of them are jumpers. I got them taped this time.
That one the other day. Oh, that's the poor one that got hurt. Yeah.
Yes. Her face.
Yeah, she's had a rough life.
This one I had to tape down. I can't even get her in the camera. There she is.
Oh yeah. Which is the one that whatted the other day? Like pulled and jumped.
I know. I didn't want to show that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
No, it's best she rest, I think.
Yeah, I'm good.
But I find it interesting how from the UK to Australia to America, those, maybe we best not discuss this. It might stir them up. So today, everybody, I pulled a card to see for our show. I'm going to change the subject quick smart. And it was the Kingfisher.
What's that mean?
The Kingfisher symbolizes peace, abundance, and love. I thought that was pretty appropriate for all of us.
Well, I need something. I need some love, and I need some peace.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Facebook user, you have no idea. You haven't seen all of them, and there's more coming on the way. So that monkey caught my eye. Yeah, that monkey caught my eye too. So yes, how's Amy been doing? I don't want to know. They haven't sent me pictures. I have people sending me clips of the video. Did you all not? Have you all not seen what happened to me during one of my shows? Hold up. Let me go to my Facebook account and see if I can't share this video. They clipped it.
Sit tight. Is all I can say.
Yeah, this made me come unglued. Because this freaked me out.
Same here.
Because they try to debunk this, and I didn't get my thermometer out. So let me bring up the video.
Her little feet were so cold, and then when they went warm. Anyway, I'll keep quiet.
Well, I need to get my thermometer out so I can show people.
There's more.
What the name?
All right, now how do I rewind this video?
What just happened?
I don't know how to rewind it. So it jumped. All right, I'm just going to present it, and you're all just have to watch it, and then it's going to play over. Now, I am not responsible if you have nightmares, ladies and gentlemen. Out of my hand! Did you see that? Here we go.
It was a pin.
It jumped out of my hand. What's it say? Oh, hell no. That's it. That's it. I just crapped myself. No. It literally like we gotta go back and watch that video because it got tugged out of my hand, like tugged, ladies and gentlemen.
That is good.
All right, here it goes. Now watch what happened. I'm holding the doll.
It's not just me.
There's more.
What the name?
What happened?
It jumped out of my hand. Did you see that?
No.
It was a pin.
It jumped out of my hand. What's it say? Session. Oh, hell no. That's it. Watch it again. I just cracked myself. It literally like we gotta go back and watch that video because it got tugged out of my hand, like tugged, ladies and gentlemen.
That is good.
It sure did. Like you could see it.
Watch the doll.
There's more.
What the name?
What just happened?
It jumped out of my hand. Did you see that?
No.
So what happened was we was doing a session with the dolls, ladies and gentlemen, and I was holding the doll by her feet, and I was holding it right here in front of my chest, and it felt like somebody was like, "Give me that!" And my natural reaction was to pull back. You know, it was like a tug of war, and it freaked me out. And you saw, I mean, anyways.
It was full on.
And it happened as the spirit box was saying something.
Yeah, what did
I don't
it
remember
say?
what the spirit box said. I don't remember. I literally messed myself pretty much. And then later on that night, that's when you got involved later that night.
Yep. It carried on.
It did.
It did.
Carried on to another show.
Exactly, Standing Stones. It was yikes.
So, yeah, Crazy Witch was watching. I bet you got a heck of a kick out of that, didn't you, Crazy Witch? So,
She
yes.
jumped out.
And Lauren even said, I told you to hold it for me. She says it was Sarah.
Is that another DOLL?
No, that's another attachment.
Oh.
So the box said it's not just me. Is that what it said, Barb? I don't remember. I was so ladies and gentlemen, if you never experienced something like that before, I can't even see now. I must have hit my glasses. If you never experienced something being yanked out of your hands like that before, I don't know, it was just weird.
It was like, you know how she had cold feet? And it was
Yeah, it
almost
was like ice cubes.
and then she warmed up. It was like when she got warmed up, that was when she was fully, you know, entered, or whatever the word is. And then she had the power to. It's not just me. Oh, God.
So you felt a tug or two, then it flew. So what happened was when I was holding it, it felt like somebody grabbed the arms and the head and tried to yank it from me. And when I felt it, it was like I tried to pull it back, and it was like, oh, hell no, I want it. And it just took it away from me. And that's why the doll flipped forward. And it was not, and it was weird. I mean, because it's just like, because people that don't know and does not watch the shows, that's why I tape things down.
Yeah.
You know, anyways, but it carried on to another show, and Cat had to get involved, and Cat was freaking out, freaked us all out on another show.
But what the lights were going off in England and with you.
Yes. In UK, yes.
Like, wow.
So it was very interesting. It was scary, but interesting, but it was nerve-wracking. Then that big crash and boom, and nothing fell. And it seemed like the whole studio was like a bomb went off. So that was
so full on. That's what that's what took a lot of regrounding. Real full on.
Oh, yeah, Crazy Wits, everything said Virginia, and then on the box, everybody was in Virginia in the chat room, and everybody sang, and around UK, Spirit Box said Virginia. Everybody's Spirit Box said Virginia. Then somebody's like, well, wouldn't that be funny, Grizzly, if your dolls came from Virginia? Because they were trying to figure out where the dolls came from. I'm like, whatever. And I was like, well, hell, maybe I need to look. And I looked, and I'm like, they're like, what? I'm like, you're not going to believe this. So I took my knife and I cut the top of the box off. And I held it up. It was the wrong top. So I turned the box around, cut it, and all the dolls came from Virginia. And that really flipped me out. So, yeah, Norma, I saw your notes from dying from laughter.
It was not
funny. Studio did it scared me. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I just sat there and kind of froze and looked around a little bit. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
There were no earth shakes. We checked everything out. There was no earth shakes. There was no sonic booms. There was nothing like that.
Yeah. So I did a good cleansing with holy water. What's the other anointment oil, my candles, incense. Yes.
Same here. I bought all my crosses out from all nationalities. Cass, you look like I hope that's a good thing.
So just because things were so common in Ventman, Grizzly, get more dolls so we can't. It was too late. I already bought them. They're still on their way. You ought to see the ones that come from Japan. But what's weird is that everybody's spirit box says 4. And it didn't dawn on me. All the dolls I've been getting have been coming in 4s. Not 2s, not 1s, but 4s. Lots of 4s. And they all started out with 4. I had to buy them in 4. So that's weird.
That is weird because I think in Chinese, I'm not sure, everybody, you can help me out. Isn't 4 unlucky? Yeah. Are there anyone that can draw and do cartoons? I reckon you've got a full comic book on the way.
Right. If Irene was in here, she can tell me about 4. She's from Japan. I mean, a comic book.
I think 4 is unlucky. Like I live at 44, my house address. and I took the sign off the house and I painted the gutter. Over here, they put the numbers in the gutters, and I snuck out one night, painted that over, so that disappeared. And I think in some blocks of units, I'm pretty sure it's unlucky in Chinese. Maybe not in other.
No. In Chinese.
I think so, yeah. Like my house is pretty unlucky.
Yes, number 4 is generally considered unlucky in Chinese culture. The belief is known as, I can't even say the word. It is a superstition. Thanks. 4 is in Mandarin, sounds similar to the word as for death. Thanks, Kat. I really appreciate that.
Well, now we
Let's
know.
just add to share.
But like that makes sense that we
matters with collect numbers for addresses, phone numbers, or license plates.
Yep. But it kind of makes sense, Grizzy, because we're all learning all these subliminal messages or whatever we're getting smacked in the face with at times. And maybe that's, giving us a hint that there could be some action there, if they're always arriving in 4s. Hi, Miss Cookie.
I never thought about that until they actually got the I got to find out the app. So they know the creator of this app that uses the technology of I forgot what iPhone and above. It's better than the spirit boxes that you buy for $100 to $300.
Is that Nestron one?
Well, I got a spirit box. It goes and it scans the frequencies. This does more than the ones that you buy, and it uses the technology of your iPhones. And I don't know if it does Androids. I have to ask them, but they know the guy that made the app because they found that the Apple company has secret technology in these phones. And this guy, I don't know, worked for, was it NASA? Or he worked for, I think it was NASA.
Yeah,
and
I think I saw that.
And he figured this out. Yeah, so.
Because all the other ones were taking data. Like when you scroll down on the app information, right down the bottom, it says they are either taking your data or not. And there's only 2 of them, I think, that weren't taking the data. And most of them were entertainment only. There was only 2 of them that are for over 17-year-olds.
Huh.
Why?
I don't know. When you get on Facebook check, sometimes they don't show your name.
Oh, that's right. Mine does that sometimes too.
You gotta put something in there. So,
like this one's
Ron, I got 50 transistor radio that's shown some good old results with little static. Very odd. Hello.
Hi, Brenda.
Facebook pal now. Good. Yeah. So I actually looked at that. You can actually look through there and see if there's any hidden cameras.
Yeah, this one I can light up and it turns to the UV.
Right.
And it'll pick up hidden cameras and stuff like that. But it goes off here the same as yours does for electromagnetic interference. And this is for checking cars and stuff. I don't really use it over here. But the UV's good at night. I think it's UV. Like it's quite cool, really. But it's scary when it goes off in the middle of the night or by yourself.
Well, yeah.
I turned it off.
Something's going around it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have to set it so that when you set it, you only have one light. And you leave it, with either one light or just on the verge of no lights. So I had it all like that. And then all of a sudden, it was at 2:00 in the morning, I think, it went off its nut. And see, this house is an old house. Like it's 1890. And it was, and originally, when I'm in the garden, I often find bits of broken Chinese crockery or Chinese jewelry. Because around here we had gold. and the Chinese came here and lived around here. And then someone took over the house. Like, it used to be a big property. They had orchard and everything around there. And then they sold out, and a farrier bought the place. And I find bones all the time. It's freaky. Like, my daughter, she's done a fair bit in science and stuff like that, and I've done a fair bit in soil science. And we couldn't understand why the soil was this color. Like, it looked like forensic soil, that's a different look. It's dark and it's a different texture, and everything's broken down differently. And I kept saying, because no one believed me, I said, there's something's not right here. It's like, because I'd parked the car, and when we get heavy rain, the whole thing would fill up like a big bog hole. And so I had to keep like filling it in, kind of thing. And when I dug it up and refilled it, all these bones came out, masses of these bones. And I looked at my daughter, and we both winked at each other because we were right. No one believed us because it stunk. It had this terrible stink as well. So it seems like I don't understand why you would bury a whole heap of, they're animals, large animals, in a big pit. If the house is like the pit's about 20 foot from here, from where I'm sitting, why would a
Oh,
farrier or anyone like that bury them so close? Yeah, no, I never feel alone. And some lady passed away after the farrier sold the house. Another lady moved in, and apparently she passed away in my lounge room. And it's interesting, when Lola was here, it was a bit too much for her, my house, because it's also full of 3 generations of furniture, and Dad traveled all over the world. So we've got different cultures mixed in this house, like Mexican, Aztec, Inca, Yaqui, American Indian, and then we've got all the Middle East. I've got Iraqi, I've got Syrian, Lebanese. The whole house is like full of all these different cultural things, and they're all antiques mostly. Like, I've got these beautiful little Byzantine vases that they're centuries old. Like, you're talking 12, beginning of Christ kind of thing. It's really old. So there's a lot of different stuff that has potential. There's one really scary one I've got. I don't know if I should show you, or do you want to see it?
well, yeah, you done said it.
Righto, hang on. I won't be a sec.
I hope my face don't melt off.
Check this out.
Let me blow you up here. Stand by.
Oh, hang on.
Nope. Let me hit it again. And let me hit you
Don't
again.
look at my fingernails. Look. And check out his back.
Is that made out of lava rock, or what is it made out of?
Well, that's what I've been trying to find out, because at first I thought it was cast, but someone's tried to dig in. You can see where they've tried to dig in to see what it is. It feels like stone to me, some sort of stone. But he's got in his hands, he's got like, the oh, my cat's just pushing the laptop. Those beads in the Middle East, and they have little markings of symbols on them?
Uh-huh.
It's like he's holding one of those. It's so weird. And it's funny, no one likes this. I've always liked it. I don't know, I find something soft and gentle about him. But isn't it odd? Why would you make something like that?
Oh, no, that is strange.
And the holes. Here. It's weird. But yeah, my house is full of stuff like this. Really, because Dad collected. He was allowed to go to different places in the world where none of us could ever go, because he was into high elevation. He was a member of the World Food Symposium, so that he would help all the different countries that were starving to grow. Oh, okay. To grow food in difficult areas, so that the countries would have food. Oh, really? Yeah, it's pretty weird. Most people are scared of it. I like him. Um, I'm not sure with this one. I think Dad got this one somewhere in Sulawesi, possibly. Indonesia area. I'm not sure where this one came from. No one ever talked about it. But yeah, Dad went to all these different places where no one else could go, and to breed genetically cross different varieties so that people could eat. He was highly respected, my daddy. But because he used to get led into all these weird areas, he'd find amazing things that you'd never see, especially guns. Like Dad was into guns as well. And, he'd go up into these high elevation areas where, it's pretty wild where he goes. And he'd tell me all about the guns because I've got an interest in guns as well. And he'd come back and we'd talk about the different guns, and he'd tell me about how amazing the reproductions were and how well they possibly I haven't even doused this one. I haven't had him out. After what happened the other day, I went looking around the house with my meter to see if anything was going off, but there wasn't anything. The same with gemstones. He'd get into those areas, like he got into the area where the Queen's mine was. She had a special mine up around Afghanistan, Pakistan, up that way. And all their stones, or most of them, came from that area. So he'd bring stuff like that back. But yeah, I'd be at the airport. Hi, Daddy. Daddy would bring me gemstones. I loved it, because they were right into it. But because Mum and Dad were into the antiques, and Dad's right into history, archaeology, all that sort of stuff, he used to bring some amazing things home. Really interesting stuff. Like the paintings and that I've got around, they're so intricate. When you zoom in and check them all out, there's some pretty interesting stuff. I've got this other painting. I really need some dowsers and other people that are good at all this stuff to come and help me on this one, because I can't figure it out. It's really old and there's only a couple of copies of it left. It's really interesting. I'll take a photo one day. Oh, nice. Yeah. I've had to repair my house, Rebecca, because I'm overloaded with rocks. Like rocks. And it didn't work. It just opened the house up even more, so it's freezing. But I've always loved gemstones. They used to call me Eagle Eye when I was little, because I'd always have my eyes down on the ground. I'd always be finding stuff. Jewelry, money, stones, all sorts of things. I spent a lot of time in the fields because Dad was a wheat breeder. So we'd spend a lot of quiet time just walking in the fields. I loved that. I really used to love that. But, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it is. Very interesting.
And the house is built on a gold sluice. Hi, Irene. We need you. Yeah, so that mucks up a lot because of the water running under everything. Oh, nice. It mucks up all the energetics of the house as well. Like when Lola was here again, she's really gifted at house clearing and that. My house freaked her out at first, totally freaked her out for probably an hour or so before she settled down, because there's so much energy in here because of all the different cultures and that. And I like to share the cultures. I don't like to stick to one because I don't want any other one getting upset, kind of thing, Like this. This is pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's South American. It's a green jade. It's pretty old, that one. I found that one. I was lucky to find that one. And my obsidian man, if ever you see these in shops, I call him obsidian man, this guy. A lot of them were made in Mexico, and if you get the sun in it, they got a green. You can see this green. I'll show you. I've got two other ones. But if ever any of you find these, grab hold of them. They're one of the best healers I've ever crossed anywhere in all my years. I've had babies that are really ill, people that are super duper ill, and nothing else can fix them. This takes out the heat within minutes. They're all chiefs, different chiefs, like Aztec, Mayan. I'll show you the others. Sorry, hope everyone doesn't mind this. Here's another one. They're all obsidian. And then there's this big Bronte. He's a big one. They're really beautiful. And they made a lot of them in, I think, Mexico and South America, mainly Mexico because of the green obsidian. They're beautiful, but they're so strong and healing-wise. Oh. Yeah, so if ever you see these, anyone that if you can't get temperatures down for kids or elders or anyone, these will guaranteed bring the temperature down when nothing else will. Like, I sleep with this guy under my pillow. I always have him close by. He's just so strong. And you can lie them gently because they're built. See how they've got the fan or the way they're built, they fit perfectly in different places. Like, this one's really heavy, but I love my obsidian chiefs. I have these three guys, but if ever I see them, I grab them. But they're getting a bit expensive now because other people are cottoning on, but some people have not cottoned on, which is good for everybody.
My great-grandfather's a blacksmith standing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll bet he didn't bury his horses and things 20 foot from the house.
Now, usually they take them at the other end of the pasture. So
exactly. What's this?
They may want to be more concerning what you show. You may be showing something. You may have important archaeologists or significant someone may knock on your door to return these items back to Wednesday, where they came from.
No, my dad was very high up and ethically unbelievable. Integrity. He's known all over the world for his diplomacy and stuff because he had to deal with so many different cultures at once. But no, these ones in particular, they're not ancient. You're probably talking about the other things, but no. We were good friends with all the archaeologists and that there at the time. And because of how high up Dad was within the system, like because of his position, we were all highly protected, and that everything we did had to be like I was a naughty girl that landed in that country in that year. They had their hands full just managing me. There was nothing, like we did the right thing because everybody, Dad was a role model, a leader, and we ethically, there's absolutely no way we would be taking anything out of that. The fertile crescent of the world and the beginning of Christ. There's absolutely no way you play around there. That's why I used to love. When I was over there, I was a bit of a naughty girl and I was pretty messed up. So I used to get in Dad's car, and he had this pistachio green Merc, and this friend of mine who I've pretty much loved my whole life, he was the mechanic. So the car was immaculate. You know, you could put a coin on the bonnet, it wouldn't move. You know, the car was perfect. Anyway, when I was upset, I used to just get in the car and go drive. And I used to go, I think I've said it before. Oh my God. I used to go to this place called St. Simeon, and I'd sit out there all by myself. And that was in 78, and the tourism hadn't hit there at that time. So I could sit out there by myself at this place, St. Simeon. St. Simeon was like, it's an ancient site. It's Syria, you know, everything's ancient. And this guy sat on a pole there for 37 years. Like, I'd sit there because, you know, and just tick over or whatever, because I loved it there. I felt peaceful there. And I'd sit out there for hours and hours. The rest of the country's thinking, oh my God, you know, who's this Australian girl in jeans, you know, wild thing in a green pistachio Merc. I'd sit there for hours on end, and the herders, you know, the Bedouins and that would come past, and they'd just give me, like, lucky I probably didn't get SHOT, but back then everything was quite okay. Where I was at St. Simeon, it was safe. But not long after that, we had to get out. Like, we always had an escape plan. We used to have a caribou on an airstrip not far out of town, so that we could get out at any time. Hi, Sam. And this place, like, the Bedouins would come past, they'd just give me this nod. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Green Mercury. Oh, that's a hottie. I was like, because no, the women didn't drive by themselves much over there when I first got there. Oh, still hurting. Knee. It's a redstone. You got any redstones? You could just lie on your knee joint. It could help. It's hard with bones. Like, I'm not allowed to touch bones. I can, with Reiki and that, we don't touch bones. You can do all the inflammation. You can do everything around it, ligaments, muscles, not bones. You don't touch them because they may not be healing, you know, quickly enough. But yeah.
That's interesting.
So it's been a pretty wild week all up.
Yeah, it has been.
Try that, Irene. Anything red in that area should help, in my opinion. Like, even carnelian would be nice on your knee. I love my rocks.
Very interesting, that's for sure.
Yes, I've had a bit of a wild life. My nickname was Wild.
Like you have.
My nickname was Wild Thing. Wild Thing. And everybody knew when Cath rocked up, Jimi Hendrix was accompanying her.
Unbelievable.
I know. So nothing.
And I got another one for you.
Oh dear. Did you see Standing Stone's record player? So cool. He had a photo up there of his man cave, and he was playing Jimmy, and he's got a record player. Yeah.
Hey, Anthony.
How times have changed.
I was playing on 8-track. Was she really playing Jimmy on 8-track?
No. Not on 8-track.
Aha!
I didn't have any LPs back then. Oh, I think the Seekers was one of my first ones. Can't remember the other one. Stairway to Heaven. Jimmy, no. Jimmy was blaring from cassette decks in my car. You know the Walkmans.
Oh yeah, I remember the Walkmans.
So, because we didn't have tape decks in the car then or CD players, so I used to just take the Walkman and put that in the car and blare it out. I still blared Jimmy out of my car.
Anthony Lewis once noted, have you heard a band with a flower on it?
Did you?
A flower on it.
Headband. No. I've had my eye on one down at the op shop for a little girl. I had a Diamante one on this morning. No flowers. Why?
Lauren, Jimi Hendrix was an amazing singer and guitarist. Yeah, he was. Grizz, that noise you made when your desk moved the other night sounded like 8 tracks falling on a metal desk. Well, I don't have 8 tracks, so, and I don't have a metal desk. That scared the kazeebies out of me.
Same here. It was so loud.
Yeah, it was.
Kelly Slater, to me, is the same as Jimi Hendrix is. Like Kelly Slater and surfing and the way he surfs, to me, is like Jimi Hendrix playing the guitar. Ditto. Je ne comprends pas.
Oh, oui. Francois.
Ça va? I know little bits. Oh, boy.
So what did it do? Trigger a memory standing stones. It made you go back in time where you dropped a bunch of 8 tracks on a metal desk, did it? So, Anthony Lewis, well, with all my gifts, I see you wearing headband with big flower on it.
In the olden days, in my, because I've got wild hair, it didn't matter if I was a hippie or not. And they'd all call me a hippie. And, in those days, you just had a sarong kind of thing on, and I'd wear camisoles and, the men's pants and the black waistcoats. So that was me back then. I often had flowers in my hair, no headbands. But they were wild days. The end of the 70s were really hard times. Yeah, I've got those. Yep. Yeah, I've got those. Thanks.
Wow, Rebecca's coming out of the closet.
But, like in the late 70s, I don't know what it was like over there for you, but things were really wild here. All the drugs changed, all the chemicals, the smack and that started to come in really heavily from overseas. And we had a lot. I was friends with like my age and the others that were 10 years older. So I was kind of mixed up with the 60s, kind of 70s in one go. But then when the drug business changed in Australia, everything changed. It was not the happy hippie times after, with the acid and stuff like that, quite simple times. But when they brought the chemicals in, everything changed. I would have lost probably, I don't know, 8 people in 8 months, car accidents. I think we lost 4 motorbike riders. Things were wild back then. And because it kind of skipped from that free 60s kind of open love and everything, it kind of switched a little in the late 70s. But the free open loving ones were still open and loving. But because of this other influence that came in, all these other bad influences came in with it. They were really hard times, I found. People, car accidents, ODing, bad acid trips, or people were doing over here, I don't know if they did it over there, but datura. People were getting into that. That's a herb, and it's a root herb. And you cook, anyway, it depends on how you process it as to what's going to go down. And some people would see red, in what was going on, and other people would see black. And most of the ones, I think it was the black, they didn't come back for like 15 years. Their heads were just totally gone. And that one in particular is one that the I don't know how to say it without, it's a witch herbal kind of thing, for spells and stuff like that. It was a very negative thing. And I used to always end up, I doesn't matter, I don't mind telling the truth about all of this. I was like the guardian, like the one that looked after everybody. Like if everyone, people drop mushies or acid or whatever, I was always around, to make sure everyone was okay, kind of thing. That went on. I felt honoured, in that situation, because instead of it being just an out of it type of thing, it became more of a spiritual learning tool. We're talking gold pops here. Over here we get goldies and blue meanies, which you don't touch, but a lot of people didn't know that back then, so people would have terrible trips. But it really changed a lot of people's minds, and influenced their future, I found. But, sometimes I'll run into some of these people and I just can't believe it, like unbelievable. But they were very, very hard times, I found, back then.
It's sad.
Yeah. And it's like what's happening now, they've changed because the cartel has now decided it's too hard to grow the coke, and, transport and all of that. Now they've gone to these bloody blue pills with the fentanyl and is it ketamine? The vet pill stuff that they've mixed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And look, and they're using machines that you could get in your backyard. Like there's no high expense in any of the machines and that they're using. They recently in Australia, they did this massive bust, and thank God they did, because there's less population here. It's so dangerous. Like, I think we're in for some very interesting times. And also, I don't know if you've got the same problem over there, but I do a lot of help with domestic violence and that, which is not pleasant. But anyway, a lot of it's going on over here at the moment because there's a lot of people are homeless. And so people will stay with the violence because they've got no other choice. It's too cold. You can't go and sleep outside, unless you're fully decked. But the situation here now is people that you would they never in their wildest dreams would have thought they'd end up homeless. They are the ones that are having bad times. They're used to going out and coffee shopping or avocados and all that sort of doing whatever they like. But now everything's changed, and I'm trying to sell my car. Right, I desperately need to sell my car. I need the money. Yesterday they put out, and we have auction places for selling cars, and they get mass government cars, and then they put them on the block, and then they auction them all off. They put 30 of my cars. I'm never going to sell it.
Oh, wow.
I know, and these are these bloody Mondeos that you can't get parts for. So I don't know if they've all found out that they can't get the parts, and now they're all selling them on mass. I don't know what I'm going to do because I can't keep it. But anyway.
That's terrible.
I know, but little things like that, the changes that are going on that are subtle. We had this massive big thing go on recently. I don't understand it. But something to do with the Treasury. And the Treasury is doing something wrong, and some guy bought out this, whoever was in control of all this money, for $1. Anyway, it's so complicated. There's all these hidden agendas that we don't know.
It is. So, what's agenda for next week?
I'm trying to get a boom show together. Oh, I love it.
A boom show, another boomerang.
Yep. I thought what we'd do is
Yeah.
we'll get Danny and hopefully James on, and they can show us how to make booms. Cheap, quick, easy ones, so that everyone can have a go at having a throw. And in about 4 weeks, I hope to get Japan on.
Irene! We're talking about Japan!
Yes. So we'll get the Japanese boomerang throwers on, and there's a deep connection with disability throwing. My friend has been teaching and promoting boomerang throwing his whole life. He was my grandfather's little protege, the son that he never had. And he's the one that's in Japan at the moment. He does heaps of stuff for disability, like wheelchair throwing and stuff like that. Amazing guy. And one of the guys in Japan makes incredible boomerangs.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I got some boomerangs, ladies and gentlemen. I got the little bitty one that you can throw around in the studio and poke your eye out. So I showed him. Yeah, some boomerangs. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, we'll get something together.
Yeah.
Irene, here the government wants to create more taxes. Everyone wants to throw out the PM, wants to throw... You know what? Everybody wants more taxes, but I don't have the money. So what am I going to do?
Are you having this big thing over in America about misinformation and disinformation?
Yes, of
Ugh.
course.
Ugh, honestly.
When's it
can
going to
we
end?
do? I don't know. I think they're shooting their own selves in the feet.
Yes, we are. It's just going to get worse. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's why we all need to look after each other. If anyone needs help on this show, just sing out.
That's right. That's all you got to do. We got
Yep.
Cat some new theme music she likes. You can tell. Look at her. Had to find something that suits her. Yeah. It won't get flagged. But ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast around the world, we'll get you on the next show and see if we can get us some more boomerang people and have some fun. Y'all be safe. We'll catch you Sunday on our other shows from coast to coast around the world, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully enjoy yourself and hope you have a great weekend. Take care and Godspeed, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks for
Cath.
having me. Hey, Grizz.